Hey everyone, Micah here with Electrek, and today we're reviewing the Mukkpet Tank, a full suspension folding fat tire electric bike. Come along with us while we check it out. Let me start off by saying that this is not some fancy e-bike, especially not at this price. The Mukkpet Tank has an MSRP of $1,299, but is often on sale for $999. An under $1,000 full suspension e-bike is obviously going to make some sacrifices. You almost never find full suspension at this price, so I wanted to see what those sacrifices were and if the bike was still worth it. And let's get right down to it. This is obviously not high-level suspension. It's fairly simple, low cost, and it kind of feels like cheap springs. But you know what it doesn't feel like? A bike saddle getting shoved up your rear because of a total lack of suspension. I'm not someone who generally feels like I need suspension, at least not all of the time, but I know there are lots of riders out there who are really on the hunt for a full suspension bike, even if it's not a high quality suspension, for the added comfort and shock reduction when traveling over uneven terrain. To me, the huge benefit of full suspension is just that when you go out for a ride, sometimes you don't know what you're going to see, so it's great to have those extra springs under you. Like here, this path has tree roots growing all up and around and through it, and that makes it super bumpy, but even with this modest suspension, I can still stay down in the saddle without getting a surprise perineum pulverization procedure. So we've established that the suspension is there. It's decent, not great, but it works. So now let's move on to the rest of the bike. From here, things are pretty darn standard. In the rear, we've got a 750 watt motor that they say puts out 960 watts of peak power. It draws that power from a 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery locked in the main frame tube, offering 720 watt hours of capacity. Don't expect to actually get the 50 miles of range they claim, but at least half of that should be doable, even on throttle. If you're on pedal assist, you'll go further, though you've got some pretty serious pedal assist lag due to that cheaper cadence sensor that they use. If you're going to be rocking the 25 mile an hour or 40 km per hour top speed, you might drain the battery a bit quicker, but still most people are going to get at least 20 to 25 miles here. For components, the bike rolls on 20 by 40 inch fat tires, and I also love those cast wheel rims instead of traditional bike spokes. They not only look good, but they're one less component that needs maintenance. And if you've ever tried truing bike spokes or replacing a broken spoke, it is not a fun task. On the other hand, the mechanical disc brakes may offer good stopping power, but those are going to be a maintenance sink as the cables start to stretch. As long as you're handy with a 5mm Allen though, that's not nearly as complicated a task to keep on top of. Elsewhere around the bike, we've got some other nice features, like that color LCD display. And of course, there's the commuter trifecta of rear rack, fenders, and LED lights. Always great to see on a bike that gets any amount of road use, such as daily commuting or errand running. I also really like that bulky rear rack, as it's nice and sturdy and it gives you plenty of rails to lash stuff down to. Now, of course, another added benefit of this bike is that it is a folding e-bike. That means you can fold it up to fit in smaller spaces. Now, it's still pretty heavy. You're not going to want to, carry this bike around folded for very long, but you can do it. In my opinion though, instead of folding the whole thing, what I like to do is often just fold the handlebars here. That drops the height of the bike down, and it makes it much easier to stick into, for example, the back of an SUV, into a minivan, sometimes into a truck under the tonneau cover, all sorts of options. This way, you still get a bike that, in my opinion, is easier to pick up because it's longer, but it's not as tall anymore. So even bikes that just have this folding handlebars is a huge benefit to me. So let's sum this up now. Basically, we've got a compromise here. For $999, you've got some value. A 25 mile per hour full suspension fat tire e-bike with mag wheels, that's pretty nice. Then again, none of these are high quality components, and who really knows how long this stuff is going to last. If you must have full suspension, I'd say this might do the trick for you. If you're alright with just front suspension though, there are better deals out there like the Electrek.co, etc. So it really comes down to what you desire. And for those with a low-cost, full suspension shaped hole in their hearts, I might have found the springs for you. Thanks for watching everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the Mukkpet Tank. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe either, so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.